Is that okay?
Now, this is one. Now, we had double duty with the 11 car. Mike Cannon drove it in the Sportsman Street Stocks with Joey. So father-son kind of traded the seat back and forth. Heat 2. Listen to the names in this heat. This is a good one. This was probably the best heat of the night. Slover, Sandy Sanders, Casey Rhodes, Ryan Emery, Eric Lindquist, Lauren Cruzy, and Mike Cannon. That's a tough field of sportsman cars.
Yes, it is.
There's wins all the way down that list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every one of those guys. Well, I don't know if Eric Lindquist has a feature win yet.
It's true.
But he's fast, and
He's close.
I won't be surprised if he gets one this year.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He's very consistent.
He is. It's a pretty good race car, too.
Yep.
But Slover.
Slover in that 3-wheel car.
3-wheel. I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how the dude drives that car like that. And it was a little more tame this week as opposed to last week.
It was.
But
who else was?
Ryan Emery.
Was it Ryan's car?
It was
okay,
the 97 was carrying
Yeah.
that left front all the way down the straightaways. And
They got something working there. I don't quite understand it, but
did you see how fast Emery was?
yeah, they were both very fast.
He was leading. He was leading the feature. Probably had that thing won. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll tell you. I said, "Hey, what happened?" He says, "I screwed up." I said,
Straight up.
Yeah, nothing went bad on the car. He says, "Nope." He goes, "I screwed up. Total driver error. Cost, I mean, how many drivers will say that?
Not
many.
That's just the way Ryan is too. He's another I say stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Just straight up about everything. Can't say anything bad about Ryan.
Oh, we can't. We can't say it on the air.
Well, that's what I meant.
And then in the Trophy Dash, James Slover won the Trophy Dash over Cruzy, Emery, and Rash. Rash broke 2 laps in. Emery had some issues. Cruzy, I mean, it was kind of like Slover kind of got out and took off.
Yeah, he did.
We've seen that car.
Slover's pretty consistent as well.
He's one of those guys in that class that you really got to show up. If you're going to race for the win, you've got to put his name in that mix.
Absolutely.
You do. That they've got that little number 25 figured out. If you move into the
3 wheels and all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I seriously don't know how he does it.
That thing twists, don't it?
It's so crazy to watch.
It's like a twister chassis back east,
It's just like watching that left front come up out of the apex of 2 and carries it all the way down the back.
But it's not just off the dirt. It's off the dirt.
Yeah, it's a foot and a half. I mean, it's daylight.
It's fun to watch.
It's crazy. I don't know.
It's amazing it handles like it does.
It is. The Sportsman feature was fun to watch because we saw Sanders.
Now he started
about
5th or 6th,
mid-pack or so.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to kind of get out of the traffic. And first time on the track this year, and the old champ shows up and parks it in victory lane.
Yep.
But watching him race his way to the front
was entertaining.
It was.
Yes.
That guy. Here's the thing about watching Sandy in that race. And we talked about it on the air, Warren, in the Moxie Tower. This is a compliment to Sandy.
I think you called it before the race even started. You told the fans, keep your eye on that 43 car.
As I said, he might be back there in the field, but keep your eyes on him. The thing about watching Sandy run that race, first time on the track, hasn't had a chance to really work with the car this year, did nothing spectacular during that race at all. Drove one, and this is a compliment to him on how he drove that car.
Consistent,
again. Smooth, mistake-free. Never once was that car out of control. Never once was it, it wasn't like Slover with all hiked up. It wasn't rolled into the corner. Just cruising. Throttle control and experience won that race for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was one of those races where I saw the 43 pull onto the track, and I sat there, and my partner in the truck, I turned to him, I go, "There's your winner."
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he goes, "What are you talking about? He hasn't been out here in forever." And I go, "Trust me."
Yep.
The old guy still got it.
And that's saying a lot against a good field like that.
Absolutely. You look at the top 5. Sandy Sanders took home the victory, 2.788 seconds over James Slover in the 25. Jeff Rash finished 3rd, 3:048 back. Then you had, what do we have going on here? We got sound effects. Casey Rhodes in that 55 truck.
Right. And Eric Lindquist. 2 drivers we just got into talking about how fast they are. But you know what?
Wasn't that your That was dang near your dash.
Almost.
Right behind Sandy Sanders.
Ryan Emery had the lead, and Ryan had a pretty good lead when he
Had an issue.
Yeah, he said he screwed up. He lost the car and spun it out down in turns. Was it 1 and 2, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
Here's the thing: had Ryan not lost that wheel, and there was no cautions, we might have seen that 97 car up front in victory lane. But Sandy Sanders, and I'm going to tell you this again in complimentary form, doing nothing spectacular but driving that race car the way it should have been drove. Watching him win that race reminded me so much of the old days. And I say the old days when I talk about the 90s when Koffel was winning his championships. Darren would start 16th in the field. And there'd be halfway through the race and he's sitting 12th. And then with 5-6 laps to go, there he is racing with a leader and you're going, where the heck did he come from?
Right.
Sandy did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did the same thing, just smooth, consistent, don't overdrive the car, keep the traction on the ground, keep it underneath you, and he drove by everybody and won. Did you hear the interview with him in victory lane?
I didn't.
I don't know if I've ever talked to a guy that wins a race that gets out and it's kind of like, yeah, car felt pretty good. You know, we just got it out and thought we'd come racing. The last minute we weren't going to show up and let's just take it out. I mean,
Yeah. Very casual.
Nothing exciting about. I mean, his interview was like the way he drove the race. He is so laid back, so calm, and I think the best drivers, a lot of them are like that. No emotion behind the wheel.
You know, we were talking about him earlier. You know who's the same exact way? Jesse Williamson.
Very much so.
Kevin, his little brother,
Very much.
the same way. He's like, got out, drove it, felt good.
I mean, I love seeing the guy get out of the car and celebrate and spray and pound on the top of it, whatever. Sandy, he's won so many races throughout his career. It's another win.
Yeah.
And that's just a down to earth guy that, I mean, if you've ever talked to anybody in racing that's just down to earth and fun to talk to, you got to put Sandy in that mix. Awesome guy to talk to. Awesome race car driver. In a home-built chassis, building a modified chassis, the Avenger modified chassis he's bringing out this year. He's doing some different stuff on. He says in victory lane, yeah, we got a modified we're putting together. It's in the shop. And he says, but I'm going to tell you, he says, we didn't build a 4-bar car. He's going to run a 3-point modified. He goes, I don't like 4-bar cars. I can't drive a 4-bar car. He goes, the driving style that I possess and how I drive a car, the 3-point fits my driving style. And when you see a guy that good with a 3-point running against the 4 bars and stuff, that shows you the talent behind the wheel.
Exactly, and that's the thing about Sandy is that he knows what he's good in. He knows what he can drive. It matches his driving style. Stick to what you know.
And that's what he said.
Stick to what you're good at.
That's what he said. He goes, why would I build a car that's not going to benefit how I drive?
The 43 Sportsman is an old modified. It's an old clip car. It works.
Home built.
Exactly. It's a home built clip car. Why not? Sandy's a smart duck.
Very intelligent individual.
He's been racing since Christ was a corporal.
Yep.
He was cutting cookies with Glenn Hackney in the field that became Williams with Claire Arnold.
No kidding. Yeah.
I mean, you start talking about the legends of racing. I mean, we always talk about the late model guys. We always forget Sandy.
Well, he's not running late models anymore. He's having a good time in the Sportsman. He's won everything that you can win and then some.
He has. So why not just go out and have fun?
That's what he's doing.
That's the way it should be.
It sure is fun to watch him. Super sports. Let's get into our super sport class, because this is something I've kind of been waiting to talk about.
I know.
I know you guys know. But how many people didn't realize Saturday night when we talk about the Sportsman, go through all the qualifying, all the classes there, and you look at qualifying times, and the fastest car at Willamette Speedway
of all the cars
was a super sport car driven by Dan Dybel. His lap time, 16.343, was better than the late model qualifying time of 16.511.
How appropriate is it to have the charity car, the fastest car, at the track?
Now, I will...
Hashtag karma.
Yes.
Well, he also had a little better racetrack to work with as far as traction. I mean, the late models are last out every week now. They get the track when it's burned up. They're still on slick tires. They're still not what a late model is as far as the package underneath them. 16.343.
16.343 on asphalt slicks that are cut versus a 16.515.
511.
511 with D55s, and you're talking a iron block aluminum head wet sump motor versus an all aluminum dry sump motor and a 15-inch wide tire. Let's think about this here, folks.
But again,
boards on the Super.
Boards on the Super, right?
No boards on the late model.
Boards on the Super on a little better track condition. I mean, it's still cool. I mean,
it's fun.
We can argue about it, and I'm probably going to get slammed for it, but I think it's neat to see.
It's
Every
cool.
now and then we see it once or twice a year where something like this happens.
I'm just glad it wasn't a street stock.
I'm just glad it was a charity car.
You know what? What he's doing is a cool deal, and there was a lot
So
of charity,
cool.
and we're going to talk more about that here when we get done with the Willamette Speedway segment. We're going to talk about what happened at the track, and pretty cool deal. But back to the subject at hand here, Dan Dybel. This dude is... It doesn't matter if he's in a late model or the Super Sport. He has now put himself in that group of cars you absolutely have to beat if you're going to race for a win. With that Super Sport car, I called Winkler as my prediction for the championship. I don't know. I like Brian, and Brian is fast. He's a top 4, top 3 car every week. But that 74, I don't know. With Norm Davis working on it.
The consistency out of the 88, I think, is still gonna.
That's the thing.
Is gonna be.
And here's the biggest thing. I know Brian's gonna run every race. I know that. I don't know if Dybel's gonna run every Super Sport race. So when I said when I made my prediction for championship, I'm talking about guys I know that are going to race for the title. And Brian is going to be right there. Did you guys watch him Saturday night, Brian Winkler?
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch how good the 88 car was working?
Mm-hmm.
He got stuck in traffic. Otherwise, if he could have broke out a little earlier, I would have loved to see what could happen late in the race.
Yeah.
But here's another big story I want to talk about in this class. And we talked about this at the track in Victory Lane. When we're doing the lineups, got everybody on the track rolling, went through the lineup. I looked at Warren. I'm not. Do you remember this?
I think I know where you're going with this.
I looked at Warren. I'm looking at the field. I'm looking at the way guys are lining up. And I'm going, this is a tough field. Tough line. Fast cars, front to back, all the way. Every row had a fast car.
Every one of them.
But the way they were lined up, I kind of watched, and I looked at Warren, and I said, tonight might be a night you want to watch that 33 car. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Watching what he did in the heat. I mean, the car looked pretty good. I said, you might want to watch him in that 33 car. And he was consistent. He was smooth, competitive, and he picked up his first Super Sport feature win. Jordan Wright. That car, we've seen it the first couple weeks of the year now, has been right there.
Yes, he has.
You know, here's a guy that doesn't have a lot of money. You know, his dad's helping him race. I think we're going to see him up in that championship hump, championship.
Easy for you to say.
I need some coffee. I am just dead. You put his name in the mix. I'm saying it. That kid he's been on the verge for the last year and a half of winning a feature, and man, he pulled it off.
You know, and a lot of people say once you get your first, they just start clicking off.
Yeah.
Well,
yet to be seen.
We'll see what happens next time we get the Supers on the track.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think you are right. Keep your eye on that 33 car. It's been right there for.
He's been so close.
Last
He's been
2 years.
Yeah, so competitive. So to see Jordan get his first win,
oh, it was special.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool
cool
to see a young kid. And look at, I mean, this field of super sports. I mean, look at all the way back. You look at the finishing order, and you kind of go, what happened in this race? Jordan Wright was the winner. Donofrio, second-year driver, was second. Pickett, the 4-time champ, was third. Brian Winkler, 4th. Again, got stuck in traffic. I think he would have had something for the top 3 cars had he broke out earlier.